remember as a little girl going up there and ringing that bell. Every Sunday morning that bell would ring and it was time to go to Sunday school in that little white frame church. I remember that. And then later it was torn down and they built the chapel.
We started with a Methodist campground, and then the city came along after that. All the old families of Alpharetta belonged to our church in the early centuries because there weren't any other churches.
They had, 50, 70 people for a service at that time. We also liked the small nature of the church, and then we watched the church grow from having a membership of several hundred to, a membership of almost 4,000 right now.
It is a sense of community that the church gives to me, that it's like a small town, that you have a sense, whether you've been here forever or whether you've just been here for the last 5 years.
I can see our church family not only growing and expanding, but the effect of our church really being far-reaching. I can imagine our church being an outpost of God's kingdom right here in Alpharetta.
The really unique thing to me about the Alpharetta church is that it's really a roll up your sleeves and get things done church. It really doesn't want to sit back on its haunches and just watch. It wants to participate and work and do, especially in the area of missions.
Well, the church has always been extremely generous in supporting mission trips.
As a church, we are making disciples of people, and we're just planting seeds out there. We're throwing little ripples in a pond.
And the youth actually started the whole missions program, I don't know if you remember, in terms of trips. Even before the adults started going, we had a very active youth program that kind of put the adults to shame for a while, and still do in some respects.
So I think it's great that we're reaching out to everybody, not just the Methodists.
Or what you receive is always far more than what you perceive that you're giving.
So it's been a real blessing.
When I walk through the doors, I don't think I've ever walked through the doors of that church that someone hasn't given me a hug.
I've never once heard anything negative at the church, complaining about other people, or it's just not there.
To me, that is such a statement about the people in our church.
And I think it's because, as people have evaluated the church, they've confirmed that our church is off the scale in terms of being friendly.
Because there is love and inside these children and the people in our church, so I feel it all around.
And when someone feels like their child has been loved, they feel loved themselves.
It's an amazing spirit, and somehow Alpharetta continues to make the new individual find a place and feel welcomed and feel supported by their friendship.
I think they sense that. They think, oh, I don't have to do this by myself. I have a community that's going to help me and support me and pray for me. And that is so comforting.
We get to be disciples more and more every time we go to church. It's someone who follows God. Well, not all the time. They do.
Fantastic leadership in this church.
To me, it always has to start at the top. It has to be what do the people want the church to be?
What does the church want to do? What do we as the Alpharetta First Methodist Church, what do we want to do together?
Do you often go down to the church midweek? That is so incredible. The parking lot is always full.
The services, I mean, at Christmas now we have 4 services and it's standing room only.
Then we're still bursting.
I think we could always use a little bit more parking because it gets a little tight on Sundays.
There's Sunday school classes that we are busting out of the seams. We don't have room.
We need more space for ministries. That's what we need.
We're not at the end of building, and I know that.
We are not in the building business. We're in the ministry business. Buildings are places where we teach people what it means to be Christian. Buildings are a means to an end, and the end is that people know and love Jesus Christ.
I think that giving, of course, benefits the recipient, but what's even more important is giving is a way for us to grow in Christ.
It's following Christ's example, and one of the ways you follow Christ's example is to give back what you've received.
We have a say. The congregation takes responsibility for this church. Those are the strongest churches. Those are the ones that are most successful, and those are the ones that continue to grow because their membership cares.
There's an attitude of gratitude that spills out into giving. Giving financially, giving actively, giving with involvement, wherever we want to be plugged in.
People want to give, they like to give, if they have a sense that there is a purpose to their giving. If they know where their money's going and what their money is doing, then they're happy and glad and excited about giving.
It is God's money. He's only allowing us to use it. It's not our money. It's His, and how should we use it? Well, we should use it to grow the church, to grow the youth programs.
To see the church focusing on the youth is the most important thing, I think, because, you know, it's hard to be a youth these days. I feel for them. My heart breaks for what society has to offer them.
And I love just seeing how the kids have grown. And to me, that's just awesome. I love that. It's amazing.
When Don walks down the aisle with the children and the babies that are being baptized, and he tells you that this is your child, this is our community, I feel it. And we take that in our hearts, and I feel like the people are taking my children into in the church, and we're all like a big family. That's just the kind of place it is. It's comforting.
Remember these faces. Think about their dreams and hopes. Then imagine the possibilities. Together we can do what needs to be done. Hand in hand we can bring what is imagined into reality. Even during the hard times in the past, they gave. Looking into the face of opportunity, it's our turn to give. Imagine the possibilities.